This week on Talking Real, we bring in 2020 OAR President Amy Bladow to tell us a little bit about her plans for the association, and some good advice on handling the current COVID-19 situation.
So who is Amy? Let's learn more about her on this episode.
Welcome back to Talking Real, brought to you by the Oklahoma Association of Realtors. You are tuned into episode 115, remotely across the state in 3 different Talking Real studios that we have going on right now, because today, not only do you have myself, Jeff, and Nabil, and before we move on, Nabil, how's your day?
Day's going well. It's nice. I was out drinking coffee on the balcony today, as per Josh's suggestion.
Oh, that's always a good plan. If it's a beautiful day, you got to have your coffee outside. So,
Yep.
But we are also joined today on Talking Real by 2020 Oklahoma Association of Realtors State President Amy Bladow. Amy, how are you today?
Hi, I'm wonderful, doing great, loving the weather, and I have my coffee, or 2 or 3 cups already, so I'm jazzed up and ready to go.
Good. I'm
Nice.
still working on my second cup of coffee. I always like to have a little coffee when we're podcasting in the morning, so can't complain about that.
Cheers.
Hear, hear. So, Amy,
Enjoy,
we are
guys.
super excited that you are joining us today on Talking Real. We've been trying to get this scheduled, and of course, I think to start out, obviously we want to talk a little bit about you and your background, but I have to say, is this how you envisioned your 2020 presidential year going?
Not at all. Not at all. So, a lot of people were thinking, 2020 vision, and, we're going to do this and get things rolling in this way. And it's just everything's, but we can adapt. We know how to do that, and we're making the most out of it. So it's good. Life is good.
I think it's funny you mentioned, all the themes of conferences and things like that were 2020 vision and all this, but yet nobody saw this coming. So clearly there was no 2020 vision.
We just got played a big joke on.
You just got punned. Well, Amy, despite the fact that this isn't how the 2020 presidential year was planned out, we're still excited to have you as our leader and president this year. And to start out, we always like to have our, special guests tell us a little bit about you. So where are you from, and how did you get into real estate?
Where am I from? Originally, I'm from Ohio. Go Bucks, go Buckeyes. I just had to put that out there.
Oh gosh, we're off to a bad start.
I know, right? I know. I'm impeached. Just impeach me. So, anyways, originally from Ohio, and my husband and I met in 1995, and we both had 2 children. To his job, his profession that he was in, management of different road construction companies and things. We left Ohio, went to Seattle, Washington for a while. From there, we went to Augusta, Georgia, to Henderson, Nevada, which is outside of Las Vegas. And we ended up in good old Oklahoma in 2002. And we have planted our roots. We are here. I will never say never, but this is home. This is home. And we're very happy to be here. So Terry had 2 children. I had 2 children. So we were a blended family. And thank God they are all grown up, having grandbabies. One of them is in the Army, not married, and she's doing her thing. But the kids are out of the house. So for the first time ever, in the last couple of years, Terry and I've had a relationship without any kids hanging around. So we're enjoying it. It's all good. It's all good. So, that's where I come from. I got my real estate license in 2006. here in Oklahoma, and the rest is history, I guess you could say. I got my broker's license in 2015 and became the managing broker for our Norman office. So
Nice. What made you decide to get into real estate? Because I'm sure when you moved around so much, you got exposed to a lot of things. And then once you settled in Oklahoma, in those 4 years, what was it that prompted real estate?
well, actually, you're right. Relocation, I felt very comfortable. I understand the process, switching schools, getting new doctors, having to find somebody to, cut your hair, doing, grocery stores and neighborhoods and making new friends, meeting, becoming acquainted and learning the history of each area that we lived in, each state we lived in. So the best way for getting into real estate, because of having to prepare and put our home up for sale or to go and look for a home, became very familiar with the whole process, and especially in listing our homes. Every home we listed, our realtor, which we always used a realtor, always commended us on how we listed, how prepared we were with our home, even with 4 little kids running around. So I just, those compliments that I received was maybe a nudge to think that, well, this is something I could do. I can't say I was excited to move every single time. I mean, who wants to raise kids in Las Vegas, right? But I wasn't happy about that move, but things happen for a reason. They truly do. And it ended up being a fantastic experience, and it got us to Oklahoma. So from that point, then, after the kids were pretty much raised and going into final middle school, high school, that's when I decided to get my my real estate license. I had worked prior to having kids, and the first 5 years after having children, I worked. But then after my current husband, Terry, and I got together, I stayed at home. It wasn't economical for us to try to find a nanny or daycare for 4 kids. So that's how that all got started.
And even despite that, though, you were still getting lots of real estate experience through all those moves, which is actually interesting. I mean, that would give you a really good perspective, having gone through it so many times personally, on how real estate works quite literally across the country. You've been everywhere.
Absolutely. It's been wonderful. It's been wonderful. So I, sometimes it's hard. Our kids, one time or another, they wish they could, just stay in one place, but it has made them travel well and be able to meet people and, learn from every situation, every move, for sure. So it's been good. It's and so that gives me a sense of, when working with buyers or sellers and having to move off, it's a way. It's so important to stay calm, keep the peace, and let them know they'll get through it. It'll be okay. And any new transition, especially with the relocation. So it's look at it as an adventure rather than something that is scary. Just embrace it.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah. So your experience kind of lended towards an area of expertise for you already.
Right. Exactly.
Well, let's talk a little bit about some association stuff, because now that you're president, and as I think a lot of people kind of understand at this point, that means you've been involved with leadership at the state level for a few years now, at least, serving in various positions coming up. So just tell us a little bit about your experience as being a leader and moving up, leading towards being the state president, and, maybe some things that you've gotten out of that.
Okay. So again, starting out with very simple, um, just getting involved, just stepping up and being involved. I've always had the spirit of giving back and volunteering. It was something that my parents instilled in me. They were very much givers of life and were willing to step up and help people. And it's just something that was natural for me. So to get into leadership, I just started in 2006. My broker that I had, my first broker, one of the things he talked to me about was get involved in your local board and give back. It will, you'll learn a lot. You will network, and it's, so that was easy for me. And so basically with leadership, starting out, with different committees or chairing committees here and there, and becoming the secretary and moving into, vice president or president elect. And then, here I am president. So it's been exciting. It's been good. I've enjoyed every step of the way. I've learned a lot. We've worked with from 2006 way back when all of this first, I first got into this business. I've worked with 3 different CEOs now for OAR, and it's just been, I can't say enough about these past 3 years. It has just been a very involved and just moving parts constantly, very positive. And I've just seen how our association has grown and has blossomed, I guess you could say. I think we've really made our mark in the country. People know who Oklahoma Association of Realtors is. So I'm very proud of that.
For sure, as they should know who we are.
That's right. That's who we are. Got it.
Nice. So, you obviously had, maybe starting with secretary and moving up, you had some plans in mind when you became president. This is what I'm going to do, continue doing what others have built on. What were some of those plans that you had coming in?
Plans coming in. Well, my tagline and what my theme was coming into 2020 comes from the Realtor Creed, to give to my community and through it my country. And that speaks to me in so many different ways. And so I just wanted to be a leader, to get more people involved, to accept people for who they are, open our arms, let people join in, get fresh faces involved. Originally, which we're still able to do that, thankfully, even though it's all, through telephone or Zoom or Blue Jeans, whatever, we do what we got to do. But also I wanted to make the state of Oklahoma, make us very prominent in the state of Oklahoma and reach out to the different public, the cities and towns. We've had McAllister and Enid do some placemaking grants. Other associations have done that too, and some have been very successful and even noted on the National Association site and, received awards. And I think when we can give back to our community, it just enhances every community and every state, to make it there for, be there for the people. They know that we're doing good. They know they can trust us, and they know we're professional, and we care. We generally care.
I think that's fantastic. And it actually kind of transitions into, I think a lot of presidents, when they're done, can look back and say, like, maybe there's like one thing that you could almost have as a defining theme of their presidency. And unfortunately, yours may have almost been picked for you with the current COVID-19 outbreak. And, I think we'd be remiss not to talk about that. And obviously there's a lot of negative things going on with this. But I'm curious on kind of your thoughts of what you think some positivity through the association that you've seen that we've been able to generate. But also just kind of what you think the impact of the association is in a time like this. And obviously you've been working very closely with us on some various things and kind of what our role is right now.
Right. So, one of the major things because of COVID was to make us essential for our legislators and our governor to see that we are, essential to the state, that the public is depending on us to help them get moved. There's many, many transactions, thousands and thousands of transactions throughout the state that were already pending, and people, can you imagine being in that situation, trying to close on a house or sell your house, and the world doesn't stop. I mean, it seems like it has stopped at this point, but in all realistic, people still have to go to work, and people still have to have a house to live in. And you can't there's some things that you just can't put on hold. So, that was a very huge step for us to get taken care of. And we've also sent out OAR, and you guys have worked so hard in getting the message out and communicating and giving different, links and facts and questions. And I commend all of you also. I'm really glad Jessica closed the office down immediately. And it was unfortunate that it had to be closed even a week before she needed to close it, but that was because of the flu, and when things start going through and affecting everybody in staff, that was a smart thing to do. And it just so happened that COVID just went right with it. So, everything
been kind of a wild ride.
Mm-hmm.
It has. It really has. And there's so many unknowns yet. And I think that's what frightens people is the unknown. So you just got to keep doing what you can and stay positive and move forward.
Like you said, we don't know the long-term impact or anything at this point, but have you thought about or just speculating what maybe some positive long-term changes in how people will do business that will happen from this? I mean, I've been thinking a lot about that of, how are people going to do business differently? And obviously, we're recording this through teleconferencing, right? Usually we get together in our studio to record a podcast, but we're doing it remotely and a lot of those kinds of things. But what do you think are some of the lasting impacts, maybe even specific to real estate, that we're going to see?
Well, what I hope is a lasting impact is that we all become smarter. I hope that because of this time, we do have a lot more time on our hands. And there's so many ways to educate yourself. Listening to the Facebook Live with the leadership from National yesterday. As a matter of fact, I came in this morning and I replayed it. There's so many things that is out there to help people in the long run. And I hope it makes us become even more professional than what we already are, more knowledgeable. They are offering, for instance, if you log into, let me look at my page here, but if you log into nar.realtors/right tools right now, they are offering 3 designations at no cost. The ePro designation, which would be a fantastic one to take, and the pricing strategies advisor. You can get a designation for $0 when it normally costs, and there's a 50% discount on the application fee. And then there's also the real estate investment course. That is a designation that you could take as well. So all of those are at zero cost and 50% application fee. The entire learning catalog is 30% off. So even if your local board isn't able to put some things out there, or, you're looking for something new, something different to help your profession, to help you become smarter, wiser, more professional, you can take many of those courses for 30% off. So that, I think, and I'm hoping that people will take advantage of that and really put it to good use. That's what I'm planning on doing. I finally picked up, I'm a little embarrassed to say, but last year I did start the Commitment to Excellence, the C2EX, and logged on, started it, and I never got back on. And so this week, I'm finishing it up. I've been on it for 2 days in a row, and I'll finish it up during some time that I'll have. And, I'll finally get my Commitment to Excellent badge. So it's very interesting. I've been having fun with it. So I like it. I'm enjoying it. So I think that's hopefully where we see our association and all of our realtors in the state of Oklahoma to become even more educated and professional, because I really believe that when this crisis, this pandemic is over, that real estate is going to be taken off. People are going to be ready. I think people will be ready to make some moves and, do what they need to do.
I think that's a fantastic. I mean, there's always an opportunity, even in a time when things slow down. And like you said, to be ready to pounce when things do rebound, because it could be sharp. It could be a very quick rebound. We don't know. I love that you mentioned C2X. We've done a lot on the staff level. In fact, Nabil just finished his C2X.
I did last week.
Yeah.
With staff, we can log in and go through it. And there's a few things that aren't strictly applicable because they talk about office policies and things like that we kind of have to, say we have, and those sorts of things. But yeah, going through all like the learning modules and all that. So I think most of us on the staff have done it as well. And it really is you learn a lot going through it. So.
And it's really well made. Like just the user interaction and the way you progress through all these different courses is really well done.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly.
For sure.
Exactly. So I think it's a great opportunity. Why are we put in this place? I mean, it's to look around and take advantage of things that you thought you were too busy for and kept putting off. And so it's a time for us to sit back, realign ourselves, and do what we can to become better people and better realtors.
Yeah, I think in general, I mean, I've really struggled with the last few weeks where I sit down and maybe I've got some downtime and I can't help but read news about COVID and everything else. And it's like, I need to refocus and let's read something that's helping me learn something useful, not just more news. Let's read something else, pick up a book. So I'm struggling with that myself. But it's a perfect time to do that, to take a course, read some articles related to your profession that will help you in the long run.
Right.
Again, pick up a book, those kinds of things that are a little better than getting stuck in the endless cycle of looking at tragic news and those kinds of things that can really wear you out. So I love that idea that you've really gone really hard into learning and just continuing to develop professionally. I think that's fantastic.
Trying to grow. So it's been good for me because I have allowed myself to do the busy work so much in the past. And looking back, it's like, this is relevant. This is most important, what I'm doing right now. It'll make all that little busy work even easier, probably, make me more efficient, make me a better manager, a better broker. And so it's great. It's good.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, Amy, we've time flies on these things, I swear. And so we are pretty much out of time. Now, we are going to have to ask you a few special questions, but we're going to do that on a secondary episode that we're going to release a little bit later in the week. So
Okay.
don't worry, everybody. Look out in a couple of days because we're definitely going to be having some fun questions for Amy that I'm sure we'll all get a lot of laughs out of. So that'll be coming in a couple of days. But right now, this regular episode of Talking Real, we're going to have to wrap up because, man, like I said, we're out of time. And love that parting thought of just get out there, grow, and continue to learn so that you are ready and just more professional and ready to go to make the industry look even better for all of us when all this comes to an end. So I love that as a parting thought. Nabil, what do you think? What else do we need to let people know before we get out of here?
We just need to let people know to share this podcast with fellow realtors and people in your office so they can get all this useful information and get to know a little bit more about our 2020 President Amy.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So
I just wanted to say one more thing. I just wanted to say goodbye to everyone. And, this is a very important week for many Christians, many, Jewish people with Passover, and everybody, whether everybody believes in something. And so I appreciate that. And I just want to say peace be with you. Peace be with everyone. So thank you.
absolutely, particularly in this time. So thank you so much, Amy. We really appreciate everything you've done as a leader and just giving us some time to talk to us on Talking Real because we love having special guests on and it's been a lot of fun. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, everybody, thanks again for tuning in and we'll see you next Tuesday on Talking Real.